Poison Ivy, issue 16. G. Willow Wilson writing with Marcio Takara on the art. This is Matt flying solo.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah. So Ivy's back. So the last issue, she got out of Undyne's little lair and realized like there are different aspects of the green. So here it really focuses on nightmares, but not in like the night terrors. Is that Pam keeps having these nightmares of people that she encountered on her mission to spread the Lamia spores. And because she's having these dreams, she's just like, well, I didn't know them, but they all had lives, and she's almost starting to feel guilt over this. And so it really focuses on this guy that Pam's going to call Chuck because she doesn't know his actual name. And for her, it was just a chance encounter at a gas station, somewhere in Northern California or Idaho, wherever, on her way up to Seattle. But to him, it completely altered and changed his life, and he ends up infected with the spore. And because of the culture that exists in the United States about, you got to go to work, you got to be a hard worker, even though he's dealing with this problem, which is a fungal infection, he's trying to push through and go to work. And he's itching and he's coughing, and his wife's really concerned about him, but he's like, no, I have a job to do. And he ends up working at like what I would guess is like an Amazon distribution place. And so she's talking about how it was very unintended that the Lamia spores, which she could control, right, that they got back out into the wild, and that it was probably through this distribution that it got out, because she didn't mean for them to be as contagious as they were, but turns out, as she says, all the best, what's the old saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? Is she couldn't, she had all the best intention for all of this, but it went the wrong way. And it ends up that this Chuck guy ends up dying on his way to work, and they can't find him. And his wife's friends are trying to console her, and they're like, well, if they haven't found him, he still might be out there, but if it's so many days, which leads to the wife and kids to be super sad. Ivy realizes that this isn't really a dream. She's having a shared green, like, experience, like she had done with the influencer lady, right? Like, they're all tapped into the green, and they're all going to the same place. And so this Chuck guy finds her in her dreams, and she's all in the full monstrous Ivy. Takara's art is really spot on here, because when he starts to, like, in the dream, he looks like this kind of zombie mushroom type of dude. But in the real world, where we see him as he's, not decomposing, but he's getting significantly worse, right, as he's getting sicker. He looks more like a traditional zombie. So there's a slight thing there. But Takara's art's really on point. That he sees Ivy in this realm, but it's all like psychedelic. Versus where Ivy sees him in the dream, everything's very idyllic. It looks like this beautiful forest clearing with like a river and a pond with a waterfall. And Ivy becomes aware that this is like a shared experience that she's having with all of these consciousness of the people that she inadvertently infected with the Lamia spore. And she looks over and she sees Undine, who's got like the flower face. And he's like, for someone that's been in touch with the green, you're really not figuring this out. Is you don't control the green controls you. I figured this out, and I haven't been at this for long. The longer you fight it, the worse it's going to go. And she, she's going, you don't understand it like I do. You can't. He's like, well, unintended consequences being what they are, you've opened a whole box, because your Lamia spores that you could control, they've gotten out and they're wild, and they've kind of become their own strain, and they're not quite in your control anymore. Ivy questions if this really is Undine or if it's her own consciousness putting this all together. And as she's kind of waking up from this dream, you see all of these like zombies, like Lamia zombies, starting to surround Gotham, coming to her. And that's where it ends. It ends with a very creepy, they're coming out of the forest, heading into Gotham. There's also a bit about how she is like fearful of Batman, but he's almost like this, because in the last issue, they played him up as this big scary threat, because she's kind of in between. Like, she's not a full out villain, but she's also, not working with Batman. So they played him up as kind of monstrous. So here, in this parts where they talk about Gotham, he's kind of around in the shadowy kind of way, and it's handled really well. But yeah, this issue is definitely an improvement from the Undine stuff, where she was stuck in that, and she was stuck in kind of the skyscraper. This getting back to the whole green aspect of it all, I really like, and just the idea that she, she's a vessel for the green, not the other way around. It's going to use her, and she's not going to use it. I really, really like. And again, Takar's art, spot on. The colors are all really working in unison. So, yeah, really good issue. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.